Pam. I'm here today to talk to you about common sense parenting. Now, I only have a short period of time to be here because I have to go pick up my grandson shortly. I usually spend Monday and Wednesday afternoons with him. But I just want to talk about parenting because I do reels about parenting all the time. And, I get a lot of comments, negative feedback, positive feedback. There's all sorts of parenting styles. But what I focus on mostly is common sense parenting. So, you have your authoritarian parenting, which is very demanding and very request driven and kind of harsh. Then you have authoritative parenting, which is more positive reinforcement, maybe discussion with your child. Then you have gentle parenting. Now, before anybody jumps on me about gentle parenting, I'm not a huge fan. I'll be really honest with you. I'm not totally opposed to it. I think some people carry it a little bit too far, and I have concerns about that, but that's just my opinion. And then there's permissive parenting, which I totally do not agree with. Now, let me just preface all of this by saying I am not a parenting expert by any means. I have raised 4 children. I have 8 grandchildren. And I spent 40 years in the early care industry working with children of all ages, primarily 0 to 5. So I understand children and I understand what works and doesn't work. Did I make mistakes with my children? Oh, absolutely. Because nobody teaches you how to do this stuff, right? I mean, a lot of times we parent how we were parented, and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. And so we learn, we adjust. Do I look back and say, gee, I wish I had done that a little bit differently? Sure. And so I learned from it. And so that's the stuff I kind of share with you guys. And I'm in the middle of writing an ebook on common sense parenting. And so for me, common sense parenting is a combination or kind of a middle ground between authoritative and gentle parenting. And I know some people call it conscious parenting, whatever you call it. We all have our own styles. Sometimes we combine them, we mix them a little bit, and we all have our opinions on them. We have children who are neurodivergent. We have children with maybe different abilities, even in the same family. So you are parenting differently those children because that's what they need. Okay, this can be controversial because not everybody agrees, and that's okay. You don't have to agree. Bottom line is you do what's best for you, your children, and your family. And you don't have to take it personally when people make comments because they don't know your family. So the way I parented my children, people may not have agreed with. I was very much the type of mom that was very supportive of my children. I'm a very positive person for the most part, but I didn't take junk. So I wasn't hateful, I wasn't mean, I didn't yell at my kids. My kids were never spanked, and I know, before anybody says anything, that's a whole other topic. I just personally don't believe in it. I think it's violence. I think when you're hitting somebody, you're teaching them that that's how you deal with issues, is by hitting them. And whether you say it's a pop on the hand or a swat on the butt, I don't agree with that. So to each his own. But my kids knew my boundaries and they knew rules and they knew consequences. And I was consistent. And that's extremely important, that you are consistent. So you never tell your child you're going to do something and then you don't do it. Or you tell them there's going to be a consequence for violating a rule or a boundary and then you don't reinforce it because you don't want to hurt their feelings or you don't want to make them feel bad or you hate to see them cry. Okay, my take on that is I'd rather I be the one that's teaching them how they need to be in the world than to face the cold, hard world someday where somebody may not be so loving and supportive. Just saying. Oh, hey, Lupa from Malaysia. Hey, how are you? I've never done this before. This is my first time, so I'm trying to look at the camera, look to see if there's comments. So it's good to hear from you. I'll tell you hi. From Malaysia. That's awesome. Yeah, I right now, so let me just back this up for a minute. I started doing reels about 2 years ago. And primarily it was on childcare because I've been in the industry for that long. Oh, hey, Rachel. Hey. Okay, so Rachel just said, good point about spanking. I can tell you I was never spanked as a child, ever. My mother used to threaten with a wooden spoon. And I think she may have spanked my brothers because they were ornery. But I wasn't. My sister and I pretty much were, I was the middle child, the one, the people pleaser that wanted everybody to like me and not do anything wrong. Anyway, I was never spanked. And hey, Bobby, I was never spanked. And I don't believe in spanking. I never spanked my own children. I will tell you though, I'll be honest. There was one time I spanked my daughter when she was 3 because she was yelling at me, no. She was screaming at me, no. And I was in the middle of, I had a family child care home. I had children I was taking care of, and she had gone to her room to get something. And when I asked her to come back, whatever it was, she was very disrespectful to me, and I popped her butt. And I felt bad I did it, but in the moment, I was just stressed. And so, it happens sometimes, but that's the only time I can remember. And my father would sit us down and talk to us. And if we did something wrong, like if one of us, of the 4 of us did something wrong, we all had to sit on the couch, and he talked to us. And he would say, well, how did you feel about that? How would you feel if somebody did that to you? How could you have done that differently? And so it made me a very empathic person when it came to other people and considering other people's feelings. And I'll be honest, sometimes we would just say, could you just spank us and let us go play? Because he would talk and talk and talk. Anyway, let's see. Bobby's on there. Rachel. Okay, just to make sure I got everybody on there. I'm doing great. I'm recovering from my surgery. Everything's going well. I'm really pumped about this Common Sense Parenting ebook I'm writing. I'm finishing up the nanny one. I'm actually in edit and revision phase on that. Hopefully we'll have that up on Amazon next week. And then I really want to get into the Common Sense Parenting. Whether people agree or not, that's cool. I'm just putting my information out there, and people can take it or leave it. But anyway, it's been really good talking to you all. I know this hasn't been long, but I need to jump off so I can go and get my grandson. And actually, I'm enjoying doing this. So I think I may do this more often. Were y'all up for some lives on parenting? Yes? No? Maybe let me know in the comments or send me a message later. I did a podcast for almost a year on childcare, and then I stopped doing that because, let me back up. I started telling you this earlier. I started on social media, I don't know, 2.5 years ago. Had no idea about it at all. Just wanted to get on and share about childcare because I've done that for 40 years and have done a lot of consulting with facilities and, know what's good, what's not, all that kind of stuff. So my colleague and I did that. And I was doing reels, shooting reels on it. Good, Rachel, thanks. So I was doing reels on it. And then I one day just did one reel about if your child's having a tantrum in a store, like a 2-year-old, here's how you handle it. And I'm telling you, I got blasted. I mean, it had 4 million views, which was insane. And I gained like 13,000 followers in a week. Now, keep in mind, I have no idea about social media. I really don't know what I'm doing even now. And it just blew my mind. The feedback. People were opposed to how I said to handle it. People were saying, yes, that's how you handle it. I worked with children with special needs for several years, so we had some behavioral modification techniques we used, which basically that's one of them. So it was really interesting, and it kind of opened my eyes. And at that point, I realized people didn't really care as much about childcare as they did about parenting. And I pivoted, and I switched over to parenting, and I've been with it ever since. So I share my reels daily. Again, some people agree, some people don't. That's perfectly okay. You don't have to like everything I say. I don't mind at all. But I do welcome feedback, and I do welcome comments as long as it's respectful. When people get nasty and start saying hateful things, I just delete them or block it because there's no need for that. If you don't like something I'm saying or someone else, you just scroll past it. You don't have to engage in nonsense. Anyway, so, okay, good. I'll do more often. Well, I'll tell you guys what. Do me a favor. Shoot me. Okay, Janice, let me see. You need lots of help with your great-granddaughter. She's 3.5, very stubborn meltdowns. Okay, that's good. I'd be curious to know. So we do is argue all the time in the morning till my mom gets up. Okay, so first of all, that's great because I would love to get into this. You don't need to argue with a 3.5-year-old. You don't argue. You're the parent or the great-grandparent or the grandparent. You're in charge. So there's things that you can do. And if you're constantly engaging and arguing back and forth, that's just reinforcing that negative behavior. So this is the kind of stuff I love. Because Because I learned so much when I worked with children with special needs, and then I had my own children. And trust me, my kids were all different. So, we parent them basically the same, but there had to be some adjustments sometimes with them. So cool. Great. Let's see what else I want. Before I go off, I don't want to see if I missed anybody. Rachel, good. Okay. Got it. All right, cool. So do me a favor. Go into either message me or I don't know. Get in touch with me somehow. Send me a comment. My email is Pam@carefinders, CAREF like in Frank, INDERZ.com. Or you can go to childcarecoaches.com and there's a contact us on there. That's my website about childcare. You can put it on there. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me just tell you, I keep moving the screen up and down. I hope I'm not cutting you guys off. Somebody just said something with special needs kids. Yes. So I will tell you, my oldest son, okay, he was not my bio child. I taught in a preschool for kids with special needs, and my husband and I took him in and raised him, and he's now 44 years old. And he has 2 children of his own who both have special needs. My sister has a son with Down syndrome and autism. So yes, I have experience working with children with special needs. Now, it's been a long time since I directly worked with them, but I get it. I totally get it. So, yeah. I mean, I'll help you as best I can. I'll tell you, my sister, she doesn't even know I'm telling you this, but she has a podcast called Embrace the Blessing. And she talks about her life with her son, Josiah, who's now 21 and is dual diagnosis with Down syndrome and autism. Very challenging for her some days. And she has 4 other children, typically developing children. So she's had her hands full. So she and I have a lot of discussions. We talk every day. She's my favorite sister. She's my only sister, actually. Anyway. Okay, guys. So shoot me comments either on my website or at my email and tell me what it is you'd like to see talked about on lives. And then maybe what I'll do is schedule like a normal time each week to pull a live and we can just discuss issues then. Okay, but I really do have to go now so I can get my grandson. Thank you all for jumping on. I love it. It's the first time I did it and I'm having so much fun. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hug and love your babies.